Welcome to our second halftime program.
Welcome to the program.
I was going to say it. I said I was going to say it, so I said it. What's up, everybody? Chat room, hit us up with your thoughts, your takes. What's the most exciting thing that you've seen today? What's the most disappointing thing that you've seen today? It's a beautiful time to be alive. It's a beautiful time to be watching football, Liz. What's been the highlight of your day so far?
Oh, Darius Slayton. The Bears won a game, even though, well, I mean, win technically, but
A win's a win.
they didn't
You
look
are what your
pretty
record says
doing
you are.
it. The Rams, Fowler having a defensive touchdown right off the bat was nice too. You want more? I mean, you going to talk some or what?
No, keep it coming. I'm just still queuing up things for us to discuss. So
sure,
I'm looking for you to bleed some time here.
Thank you. I can do this. The Saints dropping to the Falcons after Cam Jordan threw that shade during Hate Week, saying that it wasn't much of a matchup.
You hate to see it.
And they did it without Devonta Freeman, who left the game with an injury. We're going to talk about Brian Hill a little bit later. You need me to keep vamping?
No,
or
I'm good now.
Okay, you cool?
Yeah, good.
Whatever you need, partner.
Appreciate it. Now, let's talk about you people in the chat room.
You know when he claps, it's serious. Like that
serious
is the,
business. Now we're engaged. So, Mater, what are you? Mader, I can't read from over here. But anyway, someone from Twitter wants to know, tell us straight up what happened to David Johnson in Arizona. Can I just say this? Le'Veon Bell and David Johnson look like they have aged a lot in the last.
Well, listen, if Adam Gase was sharing space with you on the regular, you'd age too.
I get that. The mental space.
You know what we haven't talked enough about? You know what? Like,
Le'Veon
Bell did find the end zone and saved his fantasy day today. It was a very gettable matchup, obviously. But we have not talked about the way the Jets completely did a poop emoji. A poop emoji on Osemele.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? I feel like that was a story for a minute and then never was discussed. The fact that they made this off-season acquisition, it was kind of a higher profile move. And then dude hurt his shoulder and was like, I think I need surgery. And the team's like, nah, you good. Get in there. Put some icy hat on that. Put some icy hat on that. Like, no, this guy is hurt. And
I think the reason that we didn't talk about it is that like a couple weeks later, Washington pretty much says, hey, hold my beer. We had a guy that had cancer. For like 6 years. In his head. Yeah. Not what you want to see. So that's unfortunate. Let's spend some time talking about some happier things.
Do you want to talk about David Johnson, though, and how he has
aged 100 years in the past few?
And then maybe we can talk about Kyler Murray, because that's a player that you think we aren't talking enough about.
I do think we are not talking enough about Kyler Murray. But yeah, this backfield, I think, is definitely, it's intriguing. I think it's going to be an even split going forward. I don't think David Johnson is the type of player that you're running a bell cow workload through at this point, right? I mean, even honestly, as a pass catcher, he's been fine. But really, since like the end of 2017, all of 2018.
Since the ACL injury.
Well, wasn't it like it was a wrist? It was the wrist.
Yeah.
But like even last year, he wasn't efficient as a runner. We know that. And then we thought, well, maybe with Cliff Kingsbury, and they've been
he wasn't being used properly.
You could make the excuse, but then even this year, he hasn't really been efficient as a runner. He's been good as a receiver, and the team overall has been successful as a running operation. But him as an individual, I still don't think he looks as good as he used to.
Also, obviously, in a spread offense, these opportunities are being spread out throughout the passing game.
Nailed that one. I like that. Let's talk about a team that is playing right now.
Do you want to talk about Kyler Murray?
Let's come back to Kyler Murray.
All right.
But because I know we've got people asking about the Rams-Steelers game right now. We have no official targets for Cooper Kupp. And that's shocking to me because this was a matchup.
Hilton's been giving it up.
Yeah, and like the Steelers are one of those teams that loves to, use zone coverage, so you end up getting a lot of linebackers on slot receivers. It's pretty surprising to me. I mean, the Rams went right down the field and played pretty well, got a touchdown right away, but it hasn't really come back since then. So I don't know. I mean,
they didn't get a touchdown.
They put a touchdown on the board, but yeah.
The defensive touchdown on the board. Deontay Johnson, not for nothing, is leading the Steelers in targets. There was an emphasis even throughout the broadcast, if you were watching, about Mason Rudolph pushing the ball further downfield. Yeah. Deontay Johnson is a deep downfield threat. If there were one on the team, it's certainly him. So
that was a good call by you. That was a good
Thank you.
process call by you, because it's really like now we can go forward and say, like, okay, who's going to probably be covered by this Troy Hill goofball?
And the answer for next week is Taylor Gabriel of the Bears, who found the end zone.
Oh boy.
Today. So again, and what does he have? I mean, can't you imagine in the range of possible outcomes, Matt? Could it be that Taylor Gabriel, I don't know, is targeted 4 times, catches 3 of those balls, and one of them is like a 20-yard play that he nets 15 extra yards after the catch and finds the end zone in?
It's certainly possible.
He takes the top off of the defense.
Takes the top off defense. We know he can make big plays, both short and long. The more you talk about it, and especially with what we're seeing in this one today, I think it's a good call. You know, if you have bye week issues, I think it's a pretty good call.
So this time next week, when I'm hyping him during Fantasy Damage on FFL, you won't like cringe like you did this morning when I talked about Deontay Johnson.
I usually catch up with like my Instagram DMs during Fantasy Football or Fantasy Damage. You know, like.
So. So you're just DMing people while I'm doing the show.
Well, people got to know what I get a lot of fantasy questions on the Instagram.
I don't
DMs.
doubt it.
At @MattHarmon_BYB, by the way, if you want to hit me up there.
Go ahead and hit up all of his DMs, Scott. I see you.
Lionbeard40 says this camera looks.
I love Lionbeard.
He's great. This camera looks extra HD and crispy right now. Shout out to the production team, though. Hey, production team. Hats off to you people, for real.
We crispy.
Crispy. I like that. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh no, camera, they're gonna say something mean. And Lionbeard, you didn't.
No.
You're a stud.
Also, it's like November, and I was a little bit worried because I'm not as tan. Like the tan lines have faded.
Oh yeah. Oh, I looked at myself in the mirror the other day, and I was like, I remember I had a summer tan at one point. Kind of. Also,
it was hot girl summer for like 3 weeks.
My earpiece is falling out. Excuse me.
Should we talk to Cup with 0 points? We talked about that. Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about that much.
Yeah, we didn't really cover that in the first halftime show, so let's talk about that. By the way, that whole game with the Browns and Bills, I mean,
woof.
Yeah, woof is right. Woof is right. Like, Cleveland doesn't come out of that game looking any better to me, and the Bills, I think, a little bit exposed as like not a true contender. You know, they have too many roster flaws to me.
Well, okay, so wait, let's put the pause on Hunt, because clearly my partner here wants to go in a different direction, and I am a generous partner.
Well, so I just was using that to pull up the box score to buy some time.
I'm also going to give you a moment here.
Okay.
That you can, you can pontificate in a really satisfying way.
Well, I guess the thing for me here, like...
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Did Hollywood Higgins save Freddie Kitchens' job?
Probably not. Look, I don't think they turn it over with Freddie Kitchens. I don't think he's one and done. I could be wrong about that, but my feeling right now is that no matter how the season ends, I mean, maybe if they like lost out or something, but in the end, I think they bring Kitchens back because this organization has had so much turnover. I think it would be a really bad sign if they go and I think they can do something like, make someone else the play caller, bring in some help.
So this is right? Because I tweeted, hand the clipboard to Todd Monken. It's something I said on Cover 3 because I think Freddie Kitchens as a rookie HC, he needs to be able to focus on setting boundaries and being the head coach and not, it's clearly too much for him to handle in his first go at a head coaching job. But I do, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, because why is Freddie Kitchens the team's head coach?
He jived really well with Baker Mayfield.
Because of Baker Mayfield. And this is not a franchise that is going to fall in line with its history and get rid of somebody who at least we've seen flirt with the ability to be a top-tier franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
But, so if Hollywood didn't save Freddie Kitchens' job, do you think Hollywood, who did flash immediately when they put him on the field, like clearly they haven't liked him for whatever reason, do you think he at least edged out Callaway in a real way and we could anticipate him being a more featured part of the offense? Yeah,
I mean, 1 catch for 7 yards, and the touchdown, it is, as you say, the game saver.
That's an eye pop, though. That's a moment. So. Kenny Stills did that junk in Texas, in Houston, at the beginning of the season, and that earned him a much bigger role. And it only takes 1 catch.
And this is the guy who, it's so weird too, hearing Todd Monken, who we just talked about, say this leading up to the game. Like, we need to get this guy more involved. Matt. That's on us. And then he goes out and he does win the game for you because Callaway, was he injured or was he a healthy scratch? I don't know, but he was inactive for the game.
But he's also been
terrible.
Well, there are rumors that he doesn't want to try, and he's dropping numerous balls in the red zone.
He sucks, point blank. I mean, he's not very good. He's not been very good in the NFL so far. And Higgins was the guy. This is, like you said, Baker Mayfield liked him.
Yeah.
The end of last year.
And he's a technician. He is not a. It's almost like, Browns, what are you doing? Because you have so much flash. Why not lean towards like a workman?
Yeah. I think what was interesting, though, in this game, to bring it back to Kareem Hunt, 9 targets.
Thank you.
7 catches for 44 yards. Nick Chubb just 2 for 5 on 4 targets. So is that a trend we were going to see going forward? Because it's also worth noting this is a team that really struggles in pass protection. And the big problem for Kareem Hunt back in the early Kansas City days was pass protection. Andy Reid would consistently put Charkandrick West on the field instead of Kareem Hunt. So is that something we see going forward? Because look, this Browns team probably going to be in a lot of negative game script. They're probably not going to be able to control games and even keep them this close, like 19-16, pretty close. That could end up being important when you're looking at Kareem Hunt if he does have this passing down role.
Well, it sounds like he's going to be the change of pace third down option.
So, I mean, but basically, at the end of the day, though, if Nick Chubb doesn't get hurt, you're looking at like a mid-level version of like what Duke Johnson used to be for this team.
I think that's a little I think Kareem
just
Hunt
from
has
a usage
more
perspective.
upside.
Just from a usage perspective.
It's also interesting that Kareem Hunt's 9 targets didn't take away from Jarvis Landry's 10.
Yeah, or Odell Beckham's 12.
Well, yeah, and also 12. I mean, they did say they were going to try to feed him, but obviously White's no slouch.
I mean, but did you see some of this play calling like at the goal line?
I was watching the game with you.
It was brutal.
Oh,
yeah.
The pitches.
The pitches, like having Chubb run up there and then pitch it to him forward. It was brutal.
Get out of your head.
Yeah, it was brutal. I mean, they had at one point they had 9 tries on the goal line and didn't convert any of them. So brutal situation for the Browns. But yeah, I think overall though, I don't know that Cleveland's season has been saved. I think we're just trying to build some positive signs going into 2020, which there could be more than enough of. It won't shock me at all if Cleveland finishes 6-10 or something like that, and then they build on some positivity, take a talented roster into 2020, and are like a post-hype sleeper team.
I would not be surprised if you're saying, if Freddie Kitchens has a press conference and says he's relinquishing the play calling duties to Todd Monken at some point before the end of the season.
That could be a conversation where they tell Freddie Kitchens.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you're going to do
mandate.
this.
Yeah, this is going to happen, or we're going to blow things up.
Devin Singletary officially. Are we calling the changing of the guard here, or are you still simmering about it? I think it happened last week.
Last week was probably the official changing of the guard.
But now we have the confirmation.
I would say so. I mean, the results weren't great, right?
No.
8 for 42. But from Frank Gore also just 5 carries too. So I think it's definitely happened, and Singletary is an exciting talent, I think. So the Browns aren't a pushover defense either, so I think it's fine. I think you're going that direction. Let's talk about someone says in the chat, the Colts, puke emoji, trash can emojis. Yeah, what the hell? Colts,
Just wait, but
0 points, down 10 to the damn Dolphins. What are we doing here?
But we've also seen the Miami Dolphins be a team consistently that can hang for the first half of games, and then good teams end up catching up. We saw this with the Dallas game, right?
They're
early
frisky.
in the season. So let's give it a minute. I believe in Frank Reich. I know it's scary right now. Brian Hoyer is under center, and obviously there's no T.Y. Hilton, there's no Paris Campbell. Not that he's been,
super involved. Yeah, I get it. The Dolphins side, too, none of these sleeper picks that we picked out of Miami are working out, really.
Zach Pascal, on the Colts side, only has 3 targets.
Yeah,
one
for
catch.
23. Jack Doyle's doing pretty well. He looks like he's kind of separated himself a little bit from Eric Ebron, who did have a touchdown broken up. We've got a lot of stuff about Goff in here. Mark Edmond from Facebook says, Goff is playing like he's regressed from last season. Yeah, no kidding. Your boy Scott Rayo says Goff sucks. Then someone else, Matthew Lofton, has just Goff as a baby-looking thing with there's some trash cans in there. That's important.
I think that's a man.
It's a man, and then there's some trash.
Man trash.
Man trash. Man trash. Goff is man trash. Well, yeah, man. This was the thing. I know I said this on the podcast, and I don't. What?
I have great looking hair today.
Yeah, your hair looks nice.
It's just clean, guys. It's just clean.
But
I appreciate
that's usually a good start. That's usually a good start. I think I did not, like, when we talked about this on the fantasy podcast this week, I said, like, I think the Steelers could be, like, they could really lose this game hard to the Rams because of the offensive line defense, or the defensive line quarterback matchup favoring the Rams.
Sure.
I don't think I accounted enough that, look, TJ Watt is playing good football. He's a good player. And Bud Dupree on the other side of the field, he's playing really good too. And oh, by the way, the quarterback for the Rams, he has been awful under pressure this year too. So that's one reason that I think you're not seeing a lot of offensive production from the LA Rams here. This Steelers defense is good. And I don't know what to tell you. This is not a good, I mean, Goff on the road, it's a tough spot for a quarterback who is, as our chat room says, regressing by the moment.
Also, I was just looking this up. Heading into this game, Goff's pressured completion percentage is 22.6, which is 35th. That means that there are some like wild card quarterbacks, some backups who have played who are better under pressure than Goff. I feel like I've been talking about Goff's inefficiencies since week 3.
You
They're
definitely
pretty
have.
evident. And, you know, I believe Malcolm Brown is back for this one as well, though he hasn't showed up yet in the box score.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to be too much of a factor going
Well, it's just
forward.
interesting, but I think that that's something to keep an eye on because we've been wondering how this backfield would shake out.
As we're wrapping up here, I did want to talk about Kyler Murray, and we'll probably expand more on this on the Yahoo Fantasy Football podcast, which you can get wherever you download podcasts. But I thought Murray looked great today. I thought he was just general. I think like he's started to flash more and more to me, and I know it's not like a hot take to say, oh, the number 1 pick is playing well or anything like that, but I think I've seen a lot of positives out of both Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray. I think they've both adjusted really well to the season as it's gone on.
They got some pieces healthy, right? Patrick Peterson came back. Not that he's a game like
He's not really been playing it well.
No,
to be
but
honest.
I think having a veteran presence on the defense does matter.
Yeah.
I also think Christian Kirk was banged
Huge.
up for in and out of parts of the season. And when you look at Kyler Murray's opening month of the season, right? He had the Lions, he had the Ravens, he had Seattle, and he had the Panthers. Those are 4 teams that are run-heavy teams that want to play keep away and could play keep away from Kyler Murray. So I think that affected his momentum heading into his rookie year.
What makes me excited too going forward is that this is not a talented offense. Like the offensive line still has a lot of problems.
Sure.
We're talking about Christian Kirk really as the only, at this point, dynamic playmaker in the receiver core. Larry Fitzgerald obviously good, but he's
good
a
for
steady.
September. That's your
Yeah, he's good in September, and then he's just like a steady veteran presence throughout. The backfield's been turning over. Murray's starting to really just throw some absolute heaters. And I think like next year, if they can really put a ton of resources into this offense, like that's what's exciting to me is that they're about an average team, they're about an average offense, and just remember the hellhole that they were in just a few months ago with the Josh Rosen, Mike McCoy, Byron Leftwich situation.
Do you think, now I know you tend to be a proponent of the running back talent doesn't matter argument, but in this situation, do you think having a dynamic RB1 would be enough of a game changer for this whole offense?
I don't know because they've been really good systematically and schematically with the way they run the ball that I don't know.
So why
that,
are we beefing on David Johnson?
I just don't think he's playing.
So his
that
talent
well.
does matter then.
Sure. Well, you can't be dust. Like you can't be
Oh,
done.
you think he's dust?
I mean, he doesn't look good. Like, and I'm like right now coming off this injury, he doesn't look good. He might like still be a good player, but it looks like he needs to sit more than just 1 week. Frankly,
He has sat for more than 1 week.
It might be time to take a little seat for the rest of the
Oh,
season.
that is a hot take. Didn't come from me. Don't at me.
But anyways, that is going to do it for our second halftime stream. We're going to do our early pickups, which you can catch that video on the website, yahoosports.com. Exciting website that
I
you
was
all
just
should check
looking
out.
at Justin ask how serious the Freeman injury was.
Hey, we
It's a
might be
knee
talking
injury.
about that on our pickups video and on the Yahoo Fantasy Football podcast, which you can get wherever you subscribe to podcasts. And for the rest of you people, we wish you good luck in the rest of Week 10. Hope it's glorious for you.